Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're regular here, you know I review many photographic, audio and video related products. Well, I'm really excited today to let you know I've purchased the new Nikon Z30 and here's a box for it. Now, I can't show you the camera at the moment. I will be showing you the camera in just a minute, but I can't show you just at the minute because I'm recording on it right here on the Nikon Z30, and I've got fitted to it my Sigma 18-35 Nikon mount, but it's a Nikon F mount, so it's fitted to the Z30 via the FTZ adapter. And the wonderful thing with these Nikons, and with obviously Sony with their E mount as well, you can adapt them. I know many people do that with the Panasonic cameras, but I'm really excited I can do that with Nikon because it means I can adapt even my Sony E-mount lenses using the Megadap adapter, and you still retain autofocus. But more importantly, for me anyway, I can adapt all my old Nikon lenses. An example I've got here, the excellent Nikon, I know that's the new Nikon Z mount, this old one here. Now this is the Nikon 18-105 F mount lens, and it's a really good lens. So I've been using this lens on the Nikon Z30 because it's got VR, it's got vibration reduction, which is basically an image stabilized lens. And I mean, that is fabulous, and I really like that because it means I can use older lenses on my Z30 without having to constantly invest in the new Z mount lenses. The autofocus is great on the Z30. It's very similar to the Z50, but there's various advantages that Nikon have done with the Z30 over the Z50, certainly for video, not for photography, because the Z30 hasn't got a viewfinder. And that did make me think for several weeks, do I want to buy it or don't I want to buy it? But I did decide to buy it, and what you're looking at now is coming from the Z30 using the Sigma 18-35 lens, and I've got it set to f1.8. It's a bit wide actually, so you're not going to get a creamy background because I've got the lens sets probably I think to around about 20mm. So you know, I'm doing this video just so you guys and girls can see how good the Z30 is for video recording. It hasn't got a record limit. Well, it kind of has, but it's actually a long limit. So a long limit with the ZV-E10, the Sony ZV-E10, which I'm filming over here. I'm getting a close-up shot on my ZV-E10. That literally has got no video record limit, which is great for me in the studio here. So when I make fluffs, I can leave it carrying on recording, and it's great. I mean, I can edit those fluffs out in the edit, as it were, and edit them out in the edit. Well, you know what I mean. And that's great. Also, the ZV-E10 has a red tally light, so I know it's recording, and that is awesome. I'm finding more and more now that I need cameras with a red tally light, just so that I know that it is actually recording. It's like I'm getting an over-the-shoulder shot here with my G100, Panasonic G100. Now that was never purchased to use in the studio here because of its record limits. It's only 10 minutes in 4K, but in 1080, which I've got it set to, it's a 30-minute limit, so I've got to get this video done within 30 minutes. But that does have the red record indicator around the actual monitor, so you can clearly see that that is actually recording as well. So that's another great thing with the Panasonic G100, but it is contrast detect autofocus, so I'm hoping that is working okay. But getting back to my Z30, that's got a tally light on as well, so I can clearly see that is recording. Well, I am feeding it out to my Atomos recorder at the same time. But that's got a tally light, and it's also got a very long record limit. It's about 125 minutes record limit, so that is awesome. I've got plugged into it the Rode NTG Go microphone, I think that's what it's called. So that's picking up backup audio, but my main audio is with my DJI mic. So, you know, I'm really hoping that the autofocus is great and everything else. Now I'm going to take it off a tripod and actually show you the camera quickly, but I did also buy, well, I had a couple of lenses. I had the Nikon Z40mm, so I've got the Z40mm lens here, which is a great lens. That's a full frame lens, but because it's Z mount, it works great on the Z30, the Z50 as well, and the ZFC. So 40mm would be around about 60mm in full frame terms. So because of a crop factor, you've got to take into account the crop factor if you're using full frame lenses. So it's a 1.5 times crop with a full frame lens because it's a crop sensor camera. So that would be about 60mm. And then I just received today, I've not even put it on the camera yet, but I've just received today the 50 to 250. So playing with that as well, just to see, you know, how good the 50 to 250 will work as far as a telephoto lens. And again, taking into account the crop factor on full frame, that is equivalent to 75 to 300 and something. Yeah, so as I'm really excited that I can adapt these older lenses, these older f-mount lenses, such as my 18 to 105. I've also got down here somewhere, oh, it's gone, it's disappeared, it's gone walkies. I've got on my D300, my old, very old D300, I've got a 17 to 70, Sigma 17 to 70, and I've used that on the Z30 with the FTZ adapter, and it works great. So the Z30 is being sold as a content creation camera as well as a vlogging camera. Well, that would be content creation anyway, because it's got the articulating screen. But I'm finding it's a great stills camera. So I will show you some quick examples of some photographs, well, images I've taken in the back garden with a whole range of different lenses, from its kit lens through to, you know, the 18 to 105 f-mount lens. I haven't taken any photographs with the Sigma 18 to 35 yet. I've literally just mounted it, you know, on the camera. But I can get a creamier bokeh if we, you know, if we zoom in a bit, you'll see there. But I'm gonna have to, yeah, I'm gonna have to get down like this. But you can see now that is gonna create a really nice bokeh. I think I'm out of focus, I don't know, I might be in focus, but that will create a nice bokeh because it's an f1.8 lens, and that's now at the 35mm end, so that would be equivalent to about 50mm. So, you know, and I may well use that as a main camera. I think I am out of focus, I'd have to go back a bit here, but I think you'll find that just works great. And even though it's a very old lens, the autofocus is still great with it. The Z30 autofocus is working great. The eye detect is great. It's also got animal eye detect, which I really like. So I love photographing my cats. Let's go back to wide. And you can see all of that is working great on the Z30, not having any issues with the autofocus at all on the Z30. It's got phase detect autofocus points as well as contrast detect, so it's a hybrid autofocus system. Unlike the Panasonics, unlike my G100 over here, that is basically contrast detect autofocus, and you know that pulses, that will pulse if you've got lights in the background, where the phase detect autofocus doesn't pulse, and it's really, really accurate and really good. Likewise on my Sony ZV-E10, that's probably got the best autofocus out of the two, you know, out of the Z30 and the ZV-E10, and it's great. So, you know, I'm really happy with, you know, the sort of kit that I'm using, because I work by myself. I have to set everything up, pre-set it up, and hope that these cameras do autofocus and do work when I push the button. And it's also great with these tally lights because I can clearly see that that's recording, the ZV-E10 is recording, and the G100 is recording, and my Atomos, not Atomos, A10 Mini Pro is recording, because that's picking up the close-up shots and backup audio, and it's also picking up the shots that, you know, the photographs I've taken. So what we'll do now, I'm going to switch over to the computer so you can have a quick look at these images. But what I would suggest is, and I'm going to look at the down the Z30, what I would suggest is you take a look at them on my Flickr page. Now there'll be a link in the description to my Flickr page, so you can take a look at them there. You get a much better impression of what the images are like on Flickr than you would on the YouTube video, because of the compression that YouTube creates on the videos. So I'm going to go through them here, but take a look at them on my Flickr page, and there'll be a link in the description down below for you to be able to go to the Flickr page and see them. Now these images were just taken over the last couple of days, nothing specific, And you can see just the clarity and the detail. I've not even edited them. You can see that could do with a bit of editing. But we go through something again, the sharpness, the clarity. Now, what lens was that? That was on the 17 to 70, the Sigma 17 to 70 lens. That's an old lens. That's a really old lens, but it's still cracking. It's still producing really, really great results on the Z30. You can see here, you know, the brickwork, the detail. The sensor on the Z30 is wonderful. It's only a 20.9 megapixel sensor. It's an APS-C sensor, crop sensor. It's the same sensor as in the Z50, but it takes great images. I would recommend though, you do use lenses with some form of image stabilization. Because the camera body hasn't got image stabilization, you either will need to set a faster shutter speed, or you'll have to be really careful how you hand hold it if you don't use lenses with image stabilization. Now, I have discovered the Sony E-mount lenses that have got built-in image stabilization. The image stabilization doesn't work when you go via the adapter. It doesn't seem to work, unless anyone can correct me on that. But when you adapt Nikon f-mount lenses and also Sigma f-mount lenses that have got image stabilization in the lens, that does work. I do see it comes up in the viewfinder, well, on the monitor of the camera, that the VR is working. So that is great. So, you know, this lens here has got image stabilization on, and they're working great. But I mean, there's a lot of images here. I'm not going to go through them in any detail. Again, you can see they're just so sharp. As I said, you really are best off looking at them on my Flickr page, and that's where they will be. Again, that's for 17 to 70. Now, the Z40mm, I love the 40mm lens. It's got a lovely feel to it. It's got a lovely character to that lens, and I love the images. Again, look at the detail on that. The 40mm is a native Z mount lens, so obviously you don't need to go via an adapter. It will just mount on the camera body straight away, but it hasn't got VR, so you will need to make sure you've got a faster shutter speed to get a really sharp result with that lens. Yeah, you know, and because it's got animal eye detect, you know, you get a nice crispy image. I really like this image. It's my partner's creative workshop. She does arts and crafts, and it's one of her workshops that she does that in. That's really, I just like that. Yeah, some, you know, sharp images. Again, this is the kit lens, the 16 to 50 kit lens. For a kit lens, the 16 to 50 is a great lens. I can't knock it. I think it's a really great lens, and it's got vibration reduction, or image stabilization as I prefer to call it, in the lens, and I think that is great. So yeah, as you can see, I've taken these images with quite a variety of lenses just to see how well the camera holds up with a variety of lenses. You know, that's with the 18 to 105, the old Nikon 18 to 105. Which is this lens here. You know, it's the old, I think this was a kit lens, but they're so cheap to buy. And you know, if you can adapt it using the FTZ adapter, you see it's got VR on the lens, and that's, you know, that produces some really nice images. I keep saying really nice images, but it does. Really, I get really excited when I see what good results you can get from old kit, old lenses, married up to modern day cameras. So I generally think, well, I don't think, I'm proving it, I know, but the Z30 can generally take great images as well as great video. And again, you're looking at the video now coming off the Z30, but it's using an adapted lens. You know, so that, you know, really to do this test, I should be using it with a Z mount lens. I should have a 40mm Z mount lens fitted to it. Actually, I'm gonna do a second take, and I am gonna put the 40mm Z mount lens on, just so you guys and girls can see what a native Z mount lens looks like on the Z30. So let's do that now. I've now put the 40mm f2 lens on the Z30. It's a native Z mount lens, so obviously it fits straight onto the camera body. And I'm shooting at f2 at 1/50th of a second as I'm here in the UK, and I believe I'm getting great results. Now I'm looking at it on my Atomos Ninja Flame there, and it seems really, really good. And because it's f2, I'm getting quite a nice bokeh in the background, quite a nice separation between myself and the background. So I'll probably use the 40mm f2 as a main lens. I'm also still filming on my ZV-E10. That's a little bit further away. That's got the Sigma 56mm lens fitted to it, so it's a bit wider and the camera's a bit further away, but even that's going to create a bit of bokeh in the background. I think I've got that set to f1.8. but what we're looking at today is the results from the Z30. If you want to use it for content creation, you do want to buy a really cost-effective camera for content creation for YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and so on and so forth, I can highly recommend the Z30. Or even if you want to use it as a second camera and you've got another camera that's your main camera. Now, it hasn't got your F-logs and your, I mean Nikon call it N-logs. It hasn't got log profiles in the camera, but it has got a flat profile. I've got a feeling I've got mine set to a flat profile. I'm not 100% sure. I will put in the video what profile I have got this set to. But yeah, that's the Nikon Z30 with the 40mm f2 lens, and that's a great price as well, that lens. So if you're looking for prime lenses, I can really recommend the 40mm f2 if you're into video. It'd be hopeless for vlogging because it's too tight. You will need a wider lens for vlogging. And you would need one with vibration reduction built in. This one hasn't. Really, if you want to use this lens, you really want to be using it on a tripod or on a gimbal. It's a small enough lens to use on the gimbal. Unlike the lens I was filming previously with, the lens that I was using previously, just so you know, was this one here, which is the Sigma. I mean, it's a well-respected lens. Many videographers use this lens adapted for their Panasonic cameras or whatever. And this is the Sigma 18-35 lens. It's a fabulous lens, and as you can see, I've got the FTZ adapter fitted to that, because that would be normally the F mount, and then with the adapter it's just F to Z. Retains your aperture and it retains your autofocus. So you know, it's great. Internal zooming on this lens as well, which is absolutely brilliant. But it's a fabulous lens. It really is a fabulous lens, and I got this lens at a really good price. So yeah, that's what we was using earlier, and I say it was an adapted lens. Now we're using a Z mount lens mounted directly onto the Z30. And I say, although it hasn't got a viewfinder, it's a great camera for content creation. Now, it has got the mic input, because I've got my Rode NTG Video Mic Go, I think that's what it's called, something like that. I've got that plugged into it. I'm using that for backup audio, because I'm using my DJI mic. But it's got the mic jack, but no headphone jack, which is a bit of a shame. It would have been really nice if they'd just gone that little extra mile and put a headphone jack in. Whereas the Sony ZV-E10 has got the mic jack, but it's also got the headphone jack as well. And that's got one or two other video features that slightly better than the Z30. But one of the other things I love about the Z30 is the handling. It's got a lovely grip, 2 function buttons on the front. It's just an all-round fantastic handling camera, apart from not having a viewfinder if you need that for taking photographs with. Hope you found this useful. So please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so. Hit the like button if you like the content of my videos. Always really appreciate that. Helps me grow the channel, and I love reading the comments that people leave. You know, it is also fabulous. So please subscribe if you haven't already done so, and hit the like button. That'd be great. And stay tuned for more videos relating to video photography and the Z30. I will be doing a comparison between the Z30 and the ZV-E10, which is over there, Sony ZV-E10 over there. And I've got other comparisons, because I've compared the ZV-E10 with the G100, which is over here. So I'll put a link to that up here somewhere in this video, so you can have a look at that comparison. But as I say, there will be more videos, a lot more videos to do with the Z30. I'm really enjoying it. So there we go. Thanks very much for watching. Stay tuned for more. Cheers for now. Bye.